Hello. Meerkat, get out the way. Okay. Chapter 15. George and Harold had hid behind the van until the coast was clear. Then they sneaked up the hole into the door and peeked inside. Captain Underpants was all tied up, and the two robots were standing guard, and a little strange man wearing a diaper was laughing maniacally. I am the evil Dr. Diaper, the strange little man told Captain Underpants, and you'll be the first to witness my takeover of the world. Dr. Diaper placed the stolen crystal into a large machine called the Lasermatic 2000. The machine started to light up and make loud noises. Heavy gears began shifting and spinning, and a laser beam from the crystal shot straight up through a hole in the roof. In exactly 20 minutes, this laser beam will blow up the moon and send huge chunks of it crashing down upon every major city in the world, laughed Dr. Diaper. Then I will rise from the rubble and take over the planet. Only one thing can help us now, said George. What? Said Harold. Rubber doggy doo-doo, said George. What? Harold took the fake doggy doo-doo and a slingshot from George's backpack and handed them to him. Be careful, said Harold. The fate of the entire planet is in your hands. With careful and precise aim, George shot the rubber doo-doo through the air and across the room. It landed with a plop right at the feet of Dr. Diaper. Yes, whispered George and Harold. Dr. Diaper looked down at the doo-doo between his feet and turned bright red. Oh, dear me, he cried. I'm dreadfully embarrassed. Please excuse me, please. He began to waddle towards the restroom. This has never happened to me before, I assure you, said. I guess with all the excitement, I just, oh dear. While Dr. Diaper was off changing himself, George and Harold sneaked into the old warehouse. Immediately, the robots detected the boys and began marching towards them. Destroy the intruders, said the robots. Destroy the intruders. George and Harold screamed and ran to the back of the warehouse. Luckily, George found 2 old boards and gave one of them to Harold. We're not going to have to resort to extremely graphic violence, are we? Asked Harold. I sure hope not, said George. Chapter 16. The Extremely Graphic Violence Chapter. Warning. The following chapter contains graphic scenes showing 2 boys beating the tar out of a couple of robots. If you have high blood pressure, or if you faint at the sight of motor oil, we strongly urge you to take better care of yourself and stop being such a baby. As everybody knows, nothing enhances silly action sequences more than really cheesy animation. And so, for the first time in the history of Great Literature, we're proud to bring you the latest in cheesy animation technology, the art of Flipperama. Flipperama 1. Remember, flip only page 83. While you're flipping, be sure you can see page 83 and the one on 85. If you flip quickly, the 2 pictures will start to look like one animated picture. Don't forget to add your own sound effects. Okay. George saves Harold. Harold returns the favour. Harold returns the favour. Mixed nuts and bolts. Oh, look, Billy. Mixed nuts and bolts. Okay, chapter 17. After defeating the robots, George and Harold untied Captain Underpants. Come on, cried Harold, let's get out of here. Wait, said Captain Underpants, we have to save the world first. So George, Harold and Captain Underpants frantically looked all over the Lasermatic 2000, searching for a way to shut it down and stop the inevitable disaster. Said Harold, I think this might be the lever we want. He pulled the self-destruct lever with all his might. Suddenly, the Lasermatic 2000 began to sputter and shake. The huge laser beam turned off, and pieces of the machine began flying off in all directions. It's gonna blow, cried Harold. Run for your lives. Not so fast, screamed Dr. Diaper, who had appeared out of nowhere. You demolish my robots, you destroy my Lasermatic 2000, and you ruin my chance to take over the world. But you won't live to tell the tale. Dr. Diaper pulled out his Diapermatic 2000 ray gun and pointed it at George, Harold, and Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants quickly stretched a pair of underwear and shot it at Dr. Diaper. The underwear landed right on the evil doctor's head. Help, cried Dr. Diaper. I can't see, I can't see. There's underpants on his head. George and Harold ran out of the warehouse as fast as they could. Great shot, Captain Underpants, cried Harold. There's just one thing I don't understand, said George. Where'd you get the extra pair of underwear? What extra pair? Said Captain Underpants. Never mind that, cried George. Let's get out of here before the Lasermatic 2000 X kaboom! The Lasermatic 2000 blew up, tearing apart the old warehouse. It sent flaming shards of red-hot metal in every direction. Fire fell from the skies around our heroes, and the earth began to crumble beneath their feet. Oh no, cried Harold. We're doomed. Chapter 18. To make a long story short, they got away. Chapter 19. Back to school. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants made a quick stop outside the police station. They tied Dr. Diaper to a lamppost and attached a note to him. There, said Captain Underpants. That ought to explain everything. It says, arrest me. Then George and Harold led Captain Underpants back to Jerome Horrocks Elementary School. Why are we going here? asked Captain Underpants. Well, said George, you have to do some undercover work. Yeah, said Harold, reaching into his backpack. Put these clothes on and make it snappy. Don't forget your hair, said George. Captain Underpants quickly got dressed behind some bushes. Well, how do I look? He asked. Pretty good, said George. Now, try to look really mad. Captain Underpants made the nastiest face he could. You know, said Harold, he kind of looks like Mr. Krupp. Harold, whispered George. He's Mr. Krupp. Oh, yeah, said Harold. I almost forgot. Before long, they were all back inside Mr. Krupp's office. Okay, Captain Underpants, said George. You are now Mr. Krupp. Snappy fingers, whispered Harold. Oh, yeah, said George. Snap. You are now Mr. Krupp. Who's Mr. Krupp? Asked Captain Underpants. Oh, no, cried Harold. It's not working. The boys tried again and again to dehypnotise Captain Underpants, but nothing seemed to work. Said Harold. Let me see the instruction manual for that ring. George checked his pant pockets. George, I think I lost it. You what? Cried Harold. The two boys searched frantically through the office, but the 3D hypno ring instruction manual was nowhere to be found. Never mind, said George. I have an idea. He removed the flowers from a large vase in the corner. Then he poured out all of the water over Captain Underpants' head. What do you do that for? Cried Harold. I saw him do this in a cartoon once, said George, so it's got to work. After a few minutes, Mr. Krupp slowly came to. What's going on here? And demanded. And why am I all wet? George and Harold had never been so glad to see Mr. Krupp in all their lives. I'm so happy I could cry, said Harold. Well, you're going to cry when I have the video taped to the football team, shouted Mr. Krupp. I've had it with you two. Principal Krupp took the videotape out of the filing cabinet. You boys are dead meat, he sneered. He stormed out of his office and the video and headed toward the gym. George and Harold smiled. Wait till the football team sees that video, said Harold. Yeah, said George. I sure hope they like the singing purple dragons. Hey, look, said George. I found the 3D hypno instruction manual. It was in my shirt pocket, not my pants pocket. Well, throw that thing away, said Harold. We'll never need it again. I sure hope not, said George. Chapter 20. The end. Things at Jerome Horrocks Elementary School were never quite the same after that fateful day. The football team enjoyed Mr. Krupp's video so much that they changed their name from the Knuckleheads to the Purple Dragons Sing-Along Friends. The name change didn't go over too well with the fans, but hey, who's going to argue with a bunch of linebackers? George and Harold went back to their old ways, pulling pranks, cracking jokes, and making new comic books. They had to keep an eye on Mr. Krupp, though, because for some strange reason, every time he heard the sound of fingers snapping, snap, Principal Krupp turned back into you know who. Oh no, cried Harold, here we go again. Tra-la-la-la-la. The end. You enjoy that, meerkat? Okay, till next time, bye-bye.